trying to do.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. On my bottom right, at least on my screen, my man, 50 grand. This man likes to say he made me. I would say he played me while I was online. But no, this is my dude, my man Reese. What's going on, baby?
What's up? What's up? Happy to be here again to school you fools on some Marvel.
Me and Reese had a debate walking out of the movie on Thursday or Friday morning. Technically, we're gonna wrap that up today and make sure he's aware of what actually happens at the end of movies. I think he falls asleep at the end. I don't know. You know, it's like Reese. Did you know it's post credit scenes at the end of the movies? Did you know that?
Did. I sure did.
I was making sure. I don't know how far deep into it you be watching. And then on my bottom left, I mean, she is officially in Wakanda. I think it's the Queen Mother. I'm not even sure what's going on over there. She's got a garb. She got the city in the background. She must have a dope penthouse view in Wakanda.
Facts. Facts.
We got her?
Yeah. What's up, people?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I froze there for a second. Anyway, y'all, hold on. I gotta bring in my music just for a little bit. I still love this song. We're gonna talk about the soundtrack in a minute, but I'd be remiss. Before we start having the conversation, a little Kendrick in the joint.
Yes.
I tend to think of that more as a weekend song.
Dang, Chris.
Oh, I know. Hot take out the box.
Oh.
Hot take out the box. Good Lord.
Right. I said this is going to be a lively conversation.
I'm about to say, good Lord, Chris is like, take that.
This is going to be a lively conversation. Chris is
going for the jugular
from the jump.
I want to start with that, but we're not. Let's do a background on the original Black Panther. Before I start kicking off the stats, I am curious. This is obviously a cultural phenomenon. Everybody was more than geeked to see it. I want to know your first time, your experience, what you were thinking before and after you saw the flick. Michelle, ladies first, I'm going to start with you. The original.
All right, I appreciate you. So when we went, we were just all geeked about the whole situation, about it being set in Africa. It's a Black superhero. We did it big. We all went out, we got garbed up, we were all dressed to the nines, and we all went and saw this over at the 87th Street Movie Grill. As a family.
I was trying to get your Wakanda off real. You in the hood.
We was in the hood, yes, with the family and everything, and everybody was dressed in.
You sneak some heroes in with you to complete this?
Maybe a wing or two. But yeah, we dressed to the nines. Everybody was dressed like kings and queens, the kings and queens that we are. All of our colors, all of our glory. And it was just an experience with my people in the theater, talking to the screen and all. It was lots of tears, lots of laughs, lots of cheers. It was a great experience. And, you left there with a sense of who we are, where we come from, and what our legacy can be, and what our ancestors were. So it was a great experience.
Cool. That's what's up. Let me jump, Chris. I know you had you had a Black Panther outfit on, didn't you? You like
I actually, what's funny? I went into the movie not having I didn't have high expectations for the movie. So I went into it, it was me and my son and my daughter. And actually it was funny because we went to a theater in downtown Portland with my boss at the time, husband and their daughter. And it was maybe 10 people in the whole movie theater. So it wasn't even like the experience that probably y'all had. So it was like maybe 10 of us in the whole movie theater.
Did you see it like 3 years later? I don't understand how that was only 10 people in this movie.
I mean, you gotta realize this is Portland, dude. Like, we wasn't in the shot. So it was like literally like 10 of us in the whole theater.
Wow.
And went into it. And like I said, I didn't think it would suck, but I didn't have the high expectations, for it. But watching it and coming out of it, I mean, I was Wakanda out like everybody else, right? I was like, man, this movie it was truly, truly a great experience, a really, really good movie. To this day, it's one of the best Marvel movies in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Facts.
Right. And so it's just awesome experience overall. So yeah, it was really great for me and the family.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Reese, we were together when we saw the first one.
What's funny, so I wasn't looking into like the it's a Black movie and this, that, and other. I really was following it from the MCU's perspective. So, right, because Black Panther was introduced in Civil War, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I believe during that movie, his father died. So I already knew like the backstory and the lore, and I felt confident that damn, what's the producer? The director,
Coogler.
Ryan Coogler was going to do a great job because he had just finished doing Creed, the first one, I think, and that was so dope. I knew he was going to take care of it from the Black African perspective and the glory of Wakanda and all that shit. But I was really looking at like the continuity and how they was going to play that whole story and try to figure out what was the plot line and how that tied into the original, to the MCU universe. So I was kind of looking at it from that perspective. And but yeah, we saw it at, I can't remember the theater we saw it, but we usually see these things the first opening. They used to do,
we saw it at Imagine.
At Imagine. I don't know if it was midnight. They used to do midnight movies, but they don't do those anymore.
They
come out.
Yeah.
Those joints come out at like 3:00 on Thursday. They don't.
Right.
So it's funny. See it for the first time. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I loved how Chadwick was portraying him in Civil War. I was really interested in how it was going to play out on screen. Not to mention all of the blackness that was going to be presented. I was definitely geeked about that. But funny story. So I was in between gigs at this point. So I'm sitting around the crib, and one of my boys comes over, and he's having a little marital trouble. So we crack open a bottle of Makers, and we sitting back talking about marriage and relationships. And I'm trying to counsel him through this thing, and we kill this bottle. So I'm bubbly before I even get to the theater. Then we get there. We sit around. It's 4 of us that always go. Me, Reese, my boy Jeff Murray. Y'all know Jeff to the Murray, and our boy Dre. So we sitting around. We sit at the bar at the theater. We drinking some more.
Lord.
Then I get a deuce of brew that I take in the theater with me.
That's right.
So I'm scummy. I'm not even go front. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I enjoy it, but I'm in my contrarian mode at this point. And I'm like,
aggressive.
That's right.
It was all right.
That's right.
I'll overhyped it. It's fine.
About that shit.
I'm on Facebook shooting. I'm just popping shit. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody like, fuck you, balls and crap. Like, it ain't great. It's mediocre. And that Sunday, I take the fam to go see it. Of course, now I'm completely sober. And I'm like,
He's freezing.
This is awesome. I retract.
You in the Matrix, bro.
Yeah,
he froze in the Matrix. But I think the sentiment he was trying to convey is he saw it the following day, Sunday. Are you there? There he is. He's back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so my bad. So it's Sunday. Am I back? Jesus Christ. Can y'all see me?
Yeah.
Okay. Went Sunday, saw with the fam, obviously sober, and retracted everything I saw. Everything I missed the first time, right? Because I'm in my own little drunken space. I saw on the second viewing. And then I saw it like literally maybe 6 more times in the theater. Took a it impacted me so much. I got with a couple of my boys and we were like, man, let's take some shorties to see this. So a lot of our folks kicked in dough when we took like 6 classrooms full of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to see it.
You need to get out the basement, bro.
But you know, just kind of going off of what he just said, did the movie impact y'all the same way that it impacted him, right? Around like wanting to go see it, wanting to take youngsters to go see it. Like, I would love to understand like why it impacted y'all in the way that it did. Cause like I love the Blackness of it. I think that it showed us in a very positive light. But it didn't affect me the same way that I think that it affected a lot of people. So would love to hear from y'all on like if it affected you that way and what about it did that?
It affected me in a way that I wanted to, it just made, it instilled action, right? It pushed me to action. I wouldn't say that it was all about necessarily the Blackness of it all, although that was an undercurrent for me. The bigger picture for me was the family aspect, right? The knowing that, you know, knowing who you are, knowing where you come from, knowing where your strength lies, you know, the importance of the family unit, you know, why it's important to have a village, you know, all of that was more about it for me. And I think that there's so many of our Black children who don't have that village, that sense of pride of who we are, where we come from, understanding what that means, understanding why they have, you know, that they have this power that lies within. I think it was more about that. It was more about empowerment for me. Blackness is always with that, of course, for me. But again, that's not the case for a lot of our youth. And I think that it was important that we use the platform for what it was. It was a jumping off. It was like a springboard for me. And that's just kind of the way I felt about it. And it's still, I feel that way to this day.
So that's funny. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel any kind of way. It was a fictional movie to me, and I appreciated it from that perspective. But I will say that my takeaways from it was, one, you could have a all Black, let's call it an all Black movie with an all Black cast, directed by Black folks, and do extremely well at the theater. Like, to me, that was the larger takeaway. Like, Hollywood, pay attention. Yeah. Don't just put Black folks in these bullshit roles and pigeonhole us into these small roles, or maybe you stick one Black person as a lead and you surround them by a bunch of other folks.
Facts.
That was the first thing. But so my sense of Blackness happened really towards the end of the movie. Had nothing to do with fucking superheroes. It's when he came back to Oakland, fucking Oakland, and was like, I bought that building, I bought that building, I bought that building, and I'm doing some shit.
Empowerment.
Like, the way I looked at it, that had nothing to do with the movie. That was Ryan Coogler's nod to like, yo, let's take care of each other. Right. So that was my, but the rest of the movie, it was just like, I love the way you took this fictional thing and brought it to life. And it's really true, from my estimation, to the comics in terms of the grand and the greatness and the advance of, you know, this fictional world.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I got you.
Thanks for stepping in there, Chris, while I got my internet sorted. I had to reboot. Answer your own question there, brother. How did it affect you?
You know, honestly, I think to both of their points had the same effect, because a lot of times what we always see of ourselves is, you know, the ghetto, the soul planes of the world, right? Where everything is always less than. And so to show us in this light where we are, like, we could really be leading the world from a technology standpoint. We're smart, we're beautiful, we have this sense of tradition. We don't see that a lot of ourselves on TV and in movies, and to see it in this big movie where they, you know, spend hundreds of millions of dollars on it was awesome to see. And I think that, to all of your points, it's important for us to have the kids, the younger folks, see that, like, you can be more than, you know, what you see in, you know, Hot Boys and, you know, Soul Planes and movies like that, the straight to, you know, on demand, the straight to video kind of movies. You can be more than that. And we are more than that. We are kings. We are descendants of kings and queens and of greatness. And this movie shows that. And that was the thing that I took away from it. And that's the thing that I wanted my kids and other folks to take away from it as well.
I agree. And I feel like we're in a time where we have to meet the kids where they are. Our generation was different. We learned from our grandparents, right? Because most of us were raised around our grandparents. Some of us live with our grandparents. So we had a different situation, a different storytelling environment, a different upbringing. But for these kids, this is what they do. They watch TV, they watch TikTok, they watch videos, they watch what they, you know, see on the internet, etc. So I just think that using what we have that reaches them is what's important. So I think that it was just that for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think before I froze up, I was saying we took some kids to go see it, and to that point, Michelle, like you got to meet them where they're at. And I know some of my folks hit me up like, man, you know, that's great that you're trying to do it, but it's fictional characters and blah 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 blah. I was like, yeah. I said, but you gotta
It's the
look past
storytelling.
that. It's storytelling. It's not history. To Reese's point, it's a fictional thing, but it's kind of speaks to our history and who we were, who we could be, and particularly that technology piece, right? As Chris alluded to.
And that
my
scene
young folks,
behind you right now, that scene
right?
behind you right
Oh, we were
now,
talking about
that
that.
was educational right
Yeah,
there. That
exactly.
whole
You think your ancestors paid a fair price? Yeah,
Oh.
nah. But that now, funny we're talking about that. Agree with everything you said, but here's where it struck me in another unique way. When we had these conversations about what, as African Americans, we should do to uplift ourselves, better our position in this country, so on and so forth, we get to this thing like we're this monolith, right? Like all Black people got to think alike. The reason we can't get anywhere is because we all moving in these different directions, but we're not a monolith, right? That's not realistic. And the dichotomy between these two characters, between Black Panther and Killmonger, and how they saw how we should move, and me agreeing with both, right? Like I see both points of view.
Right.
Not only in Marvel, like villainy was this a turning point, because then you see this in the new Thor, Love and Thunder. Like you see why he's doing what he's like. You know, you see the outsiders. I just want to take over the world. Nah, this is in the new one. And I'm not saying that, but Namor has a point of view that's unique, right? So the fact that they put this together, where it's like, I totally get where Killmonger's coming from.
Oh yeah. It's like
I 60% agree with him.
I feel you. I was having that discussion with my son. I was just like, I just feel like more than that, it was kind of like the difference between Malcolm and Martin, right? It's the same thing. It's kind of just been that dichotomy in our history for forever. So yeah, I agree.
So wait a minute. I feel like this is getting a little too deep. So
Okay.
I got to throw some controversy in it. If you had the technology, would you use it in a way that Killmonger wanted?
If it was me,
I think I'd do a little both.
I would be more like T'Challa, personally. Killmonger's philosophy and the way that he wanted to go about using the technology doesn't vibe with my philosophy and what I would do with it. I'm definitely
set the table here. Chris doesn't even curse, so let's just put that on.
Oh shit! I might be offended. Look, I know Chris gonna call like false. Who the fuck you got this guy? He cursed out the sailor. What the hell is his education level?
Yeah.
I just want to set the table for Chris ain't blowing up the world. All right, people.
Nah, I'm not. But the funny thing is though, so to his point, yeah, I don't curse, I don't drink, don't smoke, you know, none of that stuff, right? But you come for my kids, I'm gonna blow up the world, right?
Come on.
You know, almost
come on.
Few years ago, I tried to have 2 10-year-old girls arrested. So don't come for the kids, because I'll come for you, right? And that's a true story. But to the point,
kids.
What was that?
I said I fight kids.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah,
I fight kids for my kids.
Oh, But yeah, I'm definitely more in the T'Challa camp versus Killmonger. And then when I watch the movie, you know, I'm just like, I feel like Killmonger is too far to the, you know, far to the left or to the right, whatever way you want to say it. Is like, I feel like he's just like overly aggressive with what he wants to do and where his philosophy comes from. And I have some thoughts on that we'll probably touch on later, but that's yeah, definitely in T'Challa's camp.
But Reese, this is my question, and I feel like this is my thing for our people in general. Why do we have to choose? I feel like there needs to be a delicate balance of all, right? Because it's just the history of the world. This world only knows divide and conquer. There's a line in the movie that talks about, are we going to be the conquerors or are we going to be the conquered, right? And I think that there's a time and a place for everything. And I feel like you have to have a delicate balance of both. That if we need to go to war when we need to go to war, and then when there is peace, there's peace. I just think that that's just kind of the way. That's just kind of the way of the world. That's the way that it's always been.
So I don't know if I necessarily think it's a combination of both. So I as a shorty, I took martial arts, and at the time I didn't get it, but over time as I got older, I knew it made sense to me. Mm-hmm. What they would teach you in martial arts is you use martial arts to defend yourself. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not like I know how to box, so I'm gonna go out and just whoop your ass because I can. It's like, but if you fuck with me, I know how to defend myself. And I will defend myself. If that means beating the shit out of you, that's what I'm gonna do, because I know how to defend myself, but I'm not gonna go out flexing because I can. I felt like Killmonger was like, you know what? Y'all fucked with us way too long. It's payback time. Mm. I don't believe, just me as a person, I don't believe that's how you win in life.
Oh, I agree.
Right? I don't think you win. But that being said, hey, you know, y'all want to come and try me, you're gonna run over here, but you're gonna limp back.
That's it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Killmonger was like Cobra Kai, right? If you watch,
he was Cobra Kai.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, T'Challa's Miyagi-Do, like, hey, you come at us, we gonna defend ourselves. We're just not gonna come out, you know, be the aggressors in any situation. So yeah, I'm with you.
So I agree with all of that. Here's where I agree with you, Shell, on this both, and even you, Reese, to an extent. It's like, here's my thing. You go out, and like you said, they done mess with us for centuries, right? He's like, you know, I can defend Wakanda, sure, we safe. You comfortable here, but it's millions of us all over the world getting stepped on every day. Exactly. They don't have the means to defend themselves, and we could supply them with that. Correct. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I come out, I flex strong one good time, like, all right now, that's it. My boys are ready. I ain't gonna fuck with you no more. Now, Killmonger's not the one to do that, right? I don't want them getting in control, and he's the leader. But if he could flex and then T'Challa could rule it, then I'm cool with that. But I want to flex that one good time, whoop your ass one good time, let you know
it's like your mama, you know. It only took that one time, right?
It
took one time for her to be crazy, and I was like, I get it. I'm not messing with her.
You go into school, right? Or I ain't never been to prison, but there's some people's theory is you go to prison, you pick a fight with the biggest motherfucker in there, and everybody, this motherfucker crazy. He whooped his ass. I'm good here. Then we straight. Then I ain't got to flex on you. I ain't got to oppress you and all that. Then we can figure it out from there.
No changes come without revolution.
But this world only knows violence and aggression as a way of the source of power. So I got to let you know.
No change has come without revolution.
And I will use it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's the whole thing. If you give them the weapons, right, somebody's going to have the thought, okay, now that we got it, let's go flex on somebody else.
Always.
Right. And so that's why you can't think the way that Killmonger thinks, because it's just going to continue to beget violence over and over and over again.
And Killmonger made it clear. He said, I know how the what they call them, the colonizers think. I know how they work. I'm going to use their strategy against them. So his whole thing was, I'm gonna put these motherfuckers in bondage. I'm gonna flex on them because I can.
That's right.
You know, and then I think what will ultimately happen now, you have
I get it though. I get it.
I can't say I don't understand it, but then you got what happens down the road. Now you got the whole world against you.
Right. Exactly.
And just to bring it back to the Marvel universe, you got another world. You got a world of empowered people against you. You probably defend yourself a little bit, but can you defend yourself against the fucking Hulk and
exactly
all of them, right? All of them.
You know, they come for you.
you got Scarlet Witch coming in.
You got this whole world against you now when you could have been leading the charge. And I think that's ultimately what happened, right? I think that was the position of Black Panther T'Challa.
Yeah,
and it's about bringing peace.
This theme is picked up in the second flick, y'all. Just so you know. Without telling too much.
I wish you motherfuckers would have saw it.
That's all right. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. But next week, excuse me. Let's bring it back. I do want to talk about some of the stats around the film real quick. So it was released in 2018. It was made for a budget of 200 million, a lot of money. Made 1.348 billion.
That's right.
Dollars. Before Endgame, it was the biggest movie in Marvel cinematic history. It still sits second. And I'm trying to see, what's it?
I believe it was the most grossing film, wasn't it?
It was until Infinity War.
That's what I mean. I'm talking about not just Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Period. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. No doubt. I don't want to. Don't let me limit it to just the universe. It's interesting. Wesley Snipes was trying to make this film in '92, but the project fell apart. But it's kind of how he stumbled into Blade later on. Interestingly enough, this was part of the Phase 3.
Which is
one
what
of the last
saved
movies
Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Things were
Mm-hmm.
So Blade saved Marvel, definitely push. That's
without a question.
Yeah, we'll do Blade one day too. So get into the categories. We talked about it, we let it off. Great movie, made a lot of money. What are your favorite scenes in the flick? Chris, kick us off.
My favorite scene is the one that just passed. So when the Jabari tribe come out to challenge T'Challa, and I don't know what dude is saying when he's saying something, he do the call and response thing. Like, to me, that's one of probably my favorite scene of the whole movie is that. Like, it's just like really powerful. And it shows, kind of who this Jabari tribe is. Like, they're coming in strength, and it just was a really, really powerful scene for me. And every time I see it, I get charged up every time I see that scene. Man, I don't know what he's saying.
I don't know what he's saying,
but it's awesome. And then, like, when you see him with the I don't know, the monkey mask on or whatever, and they do it's just an awesome, powerful scene to me.
We shall not have it.
We shall not have it.
Hey, he stole a lot of scenes, man.
Yeah.
Hey, dude. Michelle, your favorite scene?
Okay, this is hard. So it is a toss-up between when they was on the mountain, right before he was doing right before the fighting scene, like before M'Baku and crew came in, when they showed them all on the mountain and the waterfall, and they had made the water go away and everything. Yeah, it was just the colors of it. I remember being in a theater, and it was big screen, and it felt like you were there. Almost felt kind of like 3D a little bit, but all the colors and everything. That was just a beautiful moment for me. And the other piece was the last scene where when he and Killmonger were on the mountain, and he said my most favorite line of the movie, when he was, telling him, bury me with the ancestors. That to me, those two, they were kind of powerful for me.
with that. Reese, when you think about the movie, first scene that pops to mind.
I gotta say two. Well, I'm gonna give you a couple. Generally, every scene with Michael B. Jordan, that dude just stole. It was his film, if you ask. He killed the role. But particularly, the scene with Michael B. Jordan is when he was in the museum. Like that shit was cold to me. And then the other one that I fucking love is when Ross was over at the Chipari tribe, and when they was just realizing that T'Challa was still alive.
He was like, ooh, ooh.
He think he running shit, right? He in charge. Hey, shut the fuck up. Oh, we're gonna feed you to the like check them.
Yes.
I thought that was cold as hell.
It was
you do
cold.
not get to speak here.
Yeah. Like, boy, you better sit in your place.
Right. You don't have no power here. No power here.
No power.
Even when they were giving T'Challa like the heart of the herb, and he was watching.
Him like, man, what you looking at?
Like, you better turn the fuck.
You better turn your back.
That's
You
right.
better turn your back.
Hey, that was dope to me. I love that shit.
Those are two. Those are great ones. Reese, I thought you were going with this, and you said every scene with Michael B. Jordan, but that scene in the throne room.
Oh, I was gonna say that one.
That scene in the throne room, he comes in, he looking around, he's just indignant about the whole thing. He's like, "You mother, okay, all right, all right. Ask me my name then. I dare you to ask me. I dare you to ask me my name."
Hey.
Look, and it's all everybody else knew, but it's always one mother. That's in my coming later. It's always one motherfucker.
Always.
If you just shut up, we good. Here you go. But
that was
just his whole, and leading into the battle for me.
Yeah.
With the next challenge, because he's like, I don't need the whole country, blah blah blah, and then T'Challa's still being diplomatic. He's like, put your weapons down. We can handle this another way. He said, man, I done killed on this continent. I done killed my own people, all to get here so I can kill you. T'Challa actually could have won the fight, gets him down, tells him to yield, and then you could tell his whole spirit wasn't in the fight. I really did. I rewatched it yesterday before I went to go see the new one. Was that yesterday? 2 days ago. And you really, this was the first time I really felt like, he didn't just lose that fight. He just wasn't really in the fight. He
was questioning his own, own birthright. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. What his father did.
Yeah.
What kind of leader he'd be, all of that. So his internal conflict and struggle, and then just Michael B. Jordan killing that piece is just this your king? That's just dope. That's just dope.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey, that whole funniest line in the movie.
Fun fact. That wasn't even in the script. That was improvised.
Ad-lib. I like it.
Jordan, and they liked it so much they kept it in the film.
Best line of the film, arguably.
Yeah.
I also I know we've kind of gotten all over the place on our scenes that kind of meant the most to us, but from just a Marvel action visual standpoint, the car chase,
that was
Bangkok or wherever they're supposed to be, it's just visually dope to see how his suit is and them
lit up,
it and them shooting at the cars, and what's his name is fucking dope. Claw. Claw.
Baby, don't hurt me no more.
Don't hurt me no more.
Yes, the ultimate villain.
Vibranium cars, dummy. Stop shooting at.
So I'm gonna say this. This might be controversial. I thought Chadwick Boseman, God rest the dead, was all right as a Black Panther. I think Coogler really wanted Michael B. Jordan to be Black Panther, but Marvel had already introduced Chadwick in Civil War, so they had to keep the continuity.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he did a great job as Black Panther.
Great job.
Even when you think about the accent, right? And just how he comes across as being more regal.
Yep.
That's the part.
Jordan could pull that off, to be honest with you.
I don't
know if he could pull it off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Pull it off. This is why I say, look at the character of Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan, and look at the character of Killmonger, night and day. Creed had the demeanor, the whatever the role he played in Creed, he had the demeanor of.
You think they were?
No, I think Michael B. Jordan
challenge
got
that. I
this
don't
little
think they were
gulliness about him and everything.
No, not in Creed. He was.
Yeah.
I think he was kind of
And
extremely.
Creed, he absolutely was gullible.
Nah, not in the first one.
Was extremely what?
Not in
He
the
was
first
extremely.
one.
What did you say? Humble?
I say
Did you,
no.
wait, did you say he was extremely humble?
I didn't say humble.
Oh, what did you say?
I think he had a certain amount of humility because of, I think it was like this fear that he had, and that came across. It didn't come across like, I know I can whoop everybody's ass.
See,
Well, let me ask you this though.
Hold on, Chris. Let me counter that real fast.
Mm-hmm.
He has a vulnerability. I agree.
Okay, that's probably better.
But not humility, because in the very first scene in Creed, he knocks him a fuck out, and before the count is over, he taking his gloves off. The reason he gets his ass put on his ass in the first scene in the gym in Creed is because he thought he could knock everybody else. It wasn't humbleness.
No, I think you're right. Vulnerability is what I'm saying, and that to me, that was, look, Black Panther. He already knew he could whoop everybody's ass.
But let me ask you this.
He believed he could whoop everybody's ass, including fucking Captain America, including Iron Man, including Bucky. Like, he was seriously like, I'm the baddest motherfucker here.
But that's not.
But he just got this smooth, this coolness, this calmness, his walk, everything, his presence, everything about him.
Go on, Chris. What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that, but when you see Black Panther and you see Chadwick Boseman play him, do you see Chadwick or do you see T'Challa?
I see T'Challa.
Exactly. And I think that with Michael B. Jordan, you would see Michael B. Jordan. I don't know if he could really fall into the role and disappear like we see Chadwick do.
When you saw, wait a minute, I'm gonna counter that. When you saw Killmonger, did you see Michael B. Jordan or did you see Killmonger?
I saw Michael B. Jordan.
What?
I saw Michael B. Jordan.
I saw Killmonger.
I saw Michael.
I lost Michael B. Jordan.
He didn't fall. Like, okay, think about it like this. You just said that Chadwick, he got lost in the role. Jamie Foxx, when he played Ray, he got lost in the role. You don't see Jamie no more. You see him. When you see Killmonger, are you really saying that you think that that Michael B completely disappears and all you see is Killmonger? Because I always feel like Michael B, you always see him. He's a good actor, does a great job. But when I see Michael B playing Creed or playing the lawyer that he played, I still see Michael B. Jordan being an actor playing a role. I don't see him disappear like Jamie Foxx did with Ray or like T'Challa did with.
I ain't gonna lie. I left that theater that night. I was like, Michael B. Jordan should get a fucking award for playing this role.
Wow, really?
I thought he was supporting actor worthy. I thought he was.
I thought he should have won an award.
I think he's
what did he do that was so spectacular that is award worthy? Like he played the role really well.
This one of the few times that I wanted the villain to win. I can't think of. I didn't want Thanos to win. I didn't want any of the fucking villains, and not just because he was black. Not just because he was black.
Yeah.
He had purpose.
Yeah.
And he executed. Thanos had purpose, but Michael B. Jordan had purpose, and I believe that shit. You know, considering it's a fantasy world, right? Just if you're infused into the movie.
I think he was supporting acting worthy. I mean, I feel like he followed his role all the way through the end. He did. Definitely so.
I felt like, and again, it's not a diss to Chadwick. I think he did the role well, so I don't want to sound like
I was gonna say but I can't agree with you saying that I don't think he should have been T'Challa.
Let me ask you this: do you think Michael B. Jordan can effectively pull off an African accent?
No, absolutely not.
Honestly, I don't.
Absolutely,
I haven't even thought about it. I don't think I've noticed him pull off any accent. I think he did. I think he did like a California accent in Fruitville Station.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's always had this gulliness. Like it's certain, and I hate putting people in a box. I swear I do.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he has put himself in a box because I feel like he's the same person.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So how could he really pull off?
Yeah, but I don't know if I can say Denzel Washington can pull off an African fucking.
He did. Denzel did Cry Freedom, right? Denzel did Mighty Quinn, right? So he did African and Jamaican, or Bahamas, or wherever Mighty Quinn was.
I don't even remember those movies, so that
Jamaican.
I think he got nominated for that. He got nominated for that one.
Yes,
Cry Freedom.
Yeah, Cry Freedom.
Yeah.
Was that what was that? That was
It was about the
Mandela.
Was he at Mandela? I think, yeah. This was early 90s. Early 90s Denzel.
I think that might have been the 80s actually.
Yeah.
It might have been 90
end of the 80s.
92, somewhere around there.
Because remember, I think Malcolm X came out in like 91, 92.
You're right. It did.
Pulled off Malcolm
like 85 or something like that.
He pulled off Malcolm very well. He pulled off Malcolm very
That's
well.
what I said. Like,
Cry Freedom was Malcolm, 87.
87, there you go. When I think of Malcolm X, I ain't even gonna lie. I think of Denzel Washington.
You ain't right.
In my head, that's what pops up. I know it ain't him, but that's what pops up.
You know, when he in the bar and dude touch him and he be like, man, don't you put your hands, I won't say the word, but man, Denzel kills that role, and Michael B could never fall into a role like that.
I won't say that, but I just haven't seen
or doing Alonzo in Training Day. Denzel,
no, I think he could do Alonzo. I think he could do Alonzo.
Nah, nobody can do Alonzo. No one can do that role better than Denzel.
I didn't say better.
By the way, let's not because neither can Chadwick. We can't compare these actors to the caliber of fucking Denzel.
Chadwick would do a better job than Michael B.
In what role?
Is as Lonzo?
I don't think so.
Oh, please!
I think
he would do a much better job. Because Chadwick is a thespian.
No, he's a thespian. I
knew that was coming. It's like, let's pull up his pedigree, and his pedigree validates his talent. No, it does not.
I'm not talking about, because Chadwick went to whatever school he went to.
Yeah, he's a performing artist. He's put the work in. No question.
Absolutely. Chadwick is a true thespian. Michael B. Jordan is just a dude that's got talent.
He's just an actor, huh?
Exactly. As they say on Undisputed, he's a jag. He's just a guy. Chadwick is an actor thespian.
I don't disagree with this.
I'm disagreeing with that.
I don't disagree with this, but
I'm a curse because I know you can't. I'm disagreeing with that bullshit. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you won't.
All good. All
right, hold on. Here's where, and we go shift gears. Here's where I agree. Here's where I agree with Chris. Chadwick's a better thespian, but
no question.
But this particular role, I think that gulliness that Michelle keeps referencing that Michael B has, Lonzo had that. Now he's not gonna be better than Denzel, but I think he could flip that evil switch better than Chadwick can.
Let's see. I don't know.
That's
I just thought the way he got into that Killmonger role, I was stunned by it.
He killed it.
I was stunned by it. I thought he killed it. And for like historically what that character is and who that character is, and even like how the setup, like if you think about how the setup was, kid from Oakland, found his father dead, Panther claws, you got a fucking grudge. You have this plan, this well thought out plan on how you're going to get back to Wakanda. And it took a lot of things. I had to go through the military. I had to get this training. I didn't kill people. I did all this shit. I came up with this plot just to get to the throne room, like all that. And he executed it well in terms of the role. Like, I believe that shit. I walked away from that movie, thought like, oh my God, he killed this fucking role.
Yeah, all the way to the end. All the way to the end with no turning back. No turning back.
Take that away from him. He killed the role. He did.
But, and even like with Chadwick, again, I hate, if he wasn't dead, I'd probably have stronger words. I thought he did a good job. It's not to take anything away from him. I'm curious to see, you just pointed out this Black Panther BET thing. I'm curious to see the voice actor who played that role and how that comes across. Right.
Yeah. Once you check it out, hit me up or whatever. I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
I just thought it could. even in Civil War, I thought, and maybe that's just how they wrote the character. Maybe that's just how he wrote the character, and he played the character the way it was written. If that's the case, well done. I just thought the Black Panther character could have been done better.
Hot take. So then let me ask this: we always talk about the most iconic character in the movie. Are we saying Killmonger? Are we all in agreement that Killmonger is the most iconic character?
Absolutely.
For me.
Yeah.
Michelle?
Still, I'm debating. Because there were so many. I'm debating, but he's a big contender.
Well,
sure.
fuck it. Let's go further. Who's the second most standout character in the movie?
Claw.
M'Baku, Claw. Who's the third?
Probably the warrior.
Theory.
I'm gonna give you Angela Bassett. Theory. Where the fuck does Chadwick Boseman fall in terms of the characters?
Well, that's my question. If it's between him and Michael B.
For the first one,
yeah, for the first one. So whoever you don't pick has to be second to me. Now, I think my dilemma comes in. I think my gut says Killmonger, but having seen the second one and feeling the presence mist of Chadwick in that one, makes me rethink it.
I gotta tell you, so for the first one, T'Challa did not stand out for me. In the movie, I thought Michael B. Jordan stood out. I thought M'Baku stood out.
Even Shuri.
Shuri
was all right. I think she played. I don't know. She was all right to me. She was Lupita.
Peter.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can we talk about Lupita for a hot second?
No, we can't talk about that. She wasn't like that in the first movie.
She was slugging in the first one, but she was slugging in the second one.
Oh, shut up already!
First one, I was like, oh, she looks sexy, she looks cute, she looks nice. She's dope. Second one, I was like, let me see what the wife doing.
Yeah, she is definitely a hottie for sure.
Yeah, but to your point, Reese, I feel what you said. I think this also was a coming out party for a lot of those characters.
It was.
Claw had been in another one, but like we had already seen Chadwick as Black Panther, so that kind of awe and he's like we'd already seen him do his thing in two of the flicks. So it kind of it lost its edge that everybody else, even my girl from The Walking Dead, I can't remember her name.
Oh yeah,
she does her thing in both movies.
She did.
But if I'm going with my gut, I gotta say Killmonger probably is the most iconic character to me. He's the one I walked away with like, damn.
Yeah, I agree.
His name is just cold too, like Killmonger.
Name is cold.
Yeah.
What's his name? Eric what? Eric something.
It was Eric and John. What was the last name?
That was his Wakandian name, but his name was Eric something. Like
I can't remember.
Oh, she said it too.
Yeah, I can't remember it.
I can't remember either. Becker. It was something weird like that.
Yeah.
Hold on, now that's killing me. I gotta see. I hate when I forget that stuff.
Yeah. I'm
Eric Stevens.
Yeah, Eric Stevens.
Oh,
so all right, so we got Killmonger. We kind of went through the most iconic lines, but anything we haven't touched on that resonates with you from the movie from a dialogue perspective, Chris?
Nothing from like a dialogue perspective, but something that really jumped out to me. A couple things that jumped out to me, kind of going back to Killmonger's his motivation. And this you all may not agree with this, but when his dad died, he was maybe 10, 11 years old, right? I just felt like his anger was excessive. Like your dad died when you was 10. Like you still that angry over your dad dying? And that may sound crazy, but it just felt like you did all of this when you were a 10-year-old, being a 10-year-old kid, you did all of this to avenge your dad's death. Like, you couldn't have been that tight with your dad at 10, man. Like, you done killed hundreds of millions of people because your dad got killed when he was 10.
Let me call my son down here. He's 9. Let me see if he.
I'm like, dude, get over it. Like, he was 10.
Let me
But I guess,
He couldn't have been that tight with his dad at 10, man.
Chris.
And
But if
did all of that?
No,
we
hold
don't
on.
hear, look, Chris, we don't hear nothing about his mama. If that's all you got, and think about the fact that they were showing like they grew up, like he grew up in the project. That was the projects, I guess that's what it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
That's what I saw. Okay. We didn't see anything about a mother. We didn't see anything about anything like that. All he knew was the guy that was there with his dad and his dad. So if he didn't have nobody else, and that's where the movie went, where they just left him. It says in the movie, we left him behind. So he had,
And to add to that, couple of things. One, his father just didn't die. His father was murdered. He made it clear that he do that. He said,
in their house.
I found my father with panther claws in his chest.
Yeah.
His father had also talked to him about Wakanda. His father had talked to, because at the end he was like, my father always talked about the beauty of Wakanda. So I'm hearing all these beautiful fantasy things about how great this country is and all these technical advances and all how beautiful it is. And these the same motherfuckers that killed him.
But his dad was a traitor.
So he didn't know that. He didn't know that. He didn't know that.
He didn't know that.
You knew that. He didn't have exposure to that, right?
I know.
Let's take this a step further. I don't know if it was entirely about his father. When he finds his father and he goes to the ancestral plane and they replay what happens in his head, and his father's like, no tears for me. He's like, people die around here. That's what growing up in the hood is like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think his father had instilled in him this rebellious, this rationale that they had this technology, and we as a people around the world are being beaten down, taken advantage of, and manipulated and enslaved. And I think that was his real motivation. Going to Wakanda to get the tech was just the means to that end. Was there some revenge factor? Absolutely. But I think what really drove him was the liberation of our people around the world. More than anything.
Wait a minute. Now wait. I'm gonna counter that a bit. When you grow up in the hood, as a black man in the hood, especially if you raised by, let's call it the streets, right? We know what that means.
Right.
First thing you taught, you can't express weakness. You can't cry. You can't express weakness. So if I'm a 10-year-old kid, oh, you gotta be strong. What happened? As soon as somebody died, oh, be strong. You could be strong. That's like what you're fucking taught. You taught to suppress your emotions. You taught try not to cry, and you can't, oh, you soft, you weak. So from 10 years old, with no mother, no father, that means the street raised him until he was old enough to go to the military, 7, 8 years. That's damn as long as your father done taught you. So no tears, because people die all the time. I've seen the shit in the streets. I've been to the military. I've been to war. I've been all these fucking tattoos on my body. That's for murder. No. When he went to the astral plane, he was who he was.
He went back and replayed.
He played as a kid?
Oh,
in the beginning.
He was Killmonger.
When he was going through his dad's stuff, when he found the ring, it showed that part.
He was a grown man putting that ring on his neck. He wasn't a kid putting it on his neck.
But when he was looking for when he was like sitting there in front of his pops, he became a kid. And then he kind of switched. So yeah, they did a back and forth thing.
I think the switching was the fact that he found this shit as a kid and started reading through all this stuff. But the no tear for me, I believe that was him as a man.
He was grown.
He was a kid. He was crying as a man. He was a shorty when he said that.
Yeah, he was a kid.
They go back to man, it's Killmonger. He actually cried.
Yeah, because he was like, they'll say you're lost, and he was like, well, maybe it's them who's lost, and that's when he was crying. Yeah. So yeah. I think for me, that kind of circled back to one of the most powerful lines for me was when T'Challa went back to the ancestral plane, and he was saying that he was not sure that he was ready to do this without his father. And his father told him, a man that has not prepared his children for his death has failed his children. Right. And I think that kind of played out in everything that was going on with Killmonger. Like, that was like full circle, showing the difference between a child who is prepared to take the mantle versus a child who is not prepared.
That's a fact.
So yeah.
That's a good call. That's a great call, actually.
Yeah, yeah. That's the best. That's the best call of this pod. Yeah,
It
way
is.
better than.
I didn't even
Way
think
better
about
than Killmonger is a better actor than.
He was, but
He was.
Killmonger didn't die at the end either. I don't know how they killed him.
That's an awful call. That's an awful call. All right, I got a couple. And then I think we talked about the powerful ones, but there's a couple of funny ones we didn't touch on.
Oh yeah.
Don't scare me like that colonizer.
The
Hilarious.
colonizer, yeah.
Hit that man with the colonizer.
Yes,
everybody loved that shit.
Favorite part. Yes.
Everybody loved that. Yeah.
And then we talked about the bury me in the ocean. The whole I mentioned, I touched on this earlier, but the whole scene in the museum where he's like, "Do you think that's all right? I'll take it off your hands."
Yeah.
She was like, "These aren't for sale." He's like, "For sale? How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid a fair price?" I mean, all these little nuggets they dropped around the movie.
Gems.
So dope. So dope. And then
was that a result of Coogler? Because he dropped a lot of those gems throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's him.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's because of him, man. That and it's powerful shit. Like that's the thing that's cool to me is you have this fictional world, but he's dropping so many truths.
So many truths
throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Code where like we get it.
Yeah.
And maybe the public in large won't catch that shit. That was kind of dope.
But I think some of it is so overt that you can't help but like, even if you white, right? And you sitting here, he drops that line about you think your ancestors paid a fair price. Only the dentist of white people would not get where he's going with that. Now they out there. Don't get me twisted. But
they talking about vibranium. No, he's not talking about fucking vibranium.
No, he's not talking about vibranium. You dumb Florida motherfucker.
Dummy.
As out here voting for Herschel Walker, so we know they out here. But it's neither here nor there. Let me ask this. We kind of just touched on this. So the most unsung hero, and that doesn't mean superhero because we're a superhero flick. Right. What character or what person, and Claw I think is in this running, steals the movie, and by that I mean like obviously we say that Killmonger kind of wins the movie, I say, but who has a like small part, not a main character, blah blah blah, that you kind of when you walked away and was like that mark was dope.
I like Wakabi.
Oh,
he was a bad guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I liked him because like the camera, he was like a man of few words, but the camera always hit his face to get his his feedback. Like you could always read his face to know what he was thinking most times. And then when he did speak, he would drop nuggets here and there, like even when they came to the throne room and she was just like, it's lies, he was like, no, nah, Queen Mother. And he held up the brain. It was like he always had these little powerful, impactful moments. Like even when he asked what you call it with the Dora Milaje, he was like, "You will kill me, my love," and she was like, "For you," she said, "For Wakanda," she was like,
without hesitation.
Sure. Yes, yes, and it was just like little parts. Like even when he like the other line that I really like when he told T'Challa, he was like, "With you, I thought it was going to be different. I thought you were going to be different from your father, but I see that it's more of the same." So just like he was dropping little nuggets through the whole movie for me. So for me, he was kind of like an unsung hero.
That's who I had. Daniel, I always forget it. Kaluuya.
I can't remember his last name, but yeah.
Kaluuya.
Yeah,
Kaluuya.
He was the guy from Get Out, right?
From Get Out.
Yeah.
He played
he played dude in Judas and
yeah, he played Huey he played
Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton, yeah.
Chairman Hampton. Oh man, he killed that role.
It's like for me with him as an actor, it's always been like he moves like you read his movement, you read his face, you read his emotions more than anything. So yeah.
Who'd you have, Chris?
I think I would go with him too. I think that, to Michelle's point, he dropped those nuggets. He's kind of this quiet storm, right? And it's just a real quietness that is, but it's very powerful at the same time. And so I would go with him too.
So is Shuri too big of a role?
I think so.
That might have been a major role.
She's borderline, but yeah, she might be at it too much.
She might be too big of a role. So if I can't use Shuri, and I would say because they lose without her, but then if I'm taking that perspective, they lose without this person, I'm gonna have to go with M'Baku. He basically saved the Black Panther, and he had every reason not to. Right? He wanted to be the king. He felt like the Wakandans had kind of shut out the Jabari tribe, and they've been playing us bogus for years, and they ain't never sent the king up here. They only want some shit. So he had every reason not to. Even if he lets T'Challa die, he'll challenge the throne and nobody can fuck with him. But he chose the opposite. He came across as like this
he was wise. Right? He was wise.
But he had a certain amount of wisdom and insight, or maybe foresight.
Yeah.
He ended up doing the right thing. So I thought that was I thought he would probably be that unsung hero. And on top of that, they would have lost. Killmonger had to hand up. Remember, Killmonger and the Wakandan soldiers, they had the rebels surrounded.
Yeah, the border tribe. Yeah.
And then he brought his team and they helped. In addition to that, outside of this movie, he was there in Endgame.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. So
and now when I meant unsung hero, I didn't mean like actually like who saved the day, but even in your breakdown, Reese, I agree with you. I think he was my second person and just like kind of a small character that's kind of stole the movie, or every scene he was in, he absorbed the tapestry of the scene. And he definitely did that. And girl who scoffs the tradition shall not have it. We shall not have it. Yeah, that wound up being my guy, and he had a sense of honor, Reese, right? Because he's like a life. You saved mine, I saved yours. Consider the debt paid. Like all that's dope.
Yeah.
And he respected tradition.
And he respected tradition.
And he checked the white boy.
Fact.
That was my favorite part. That was dope.
The disgust on his face, like, how dare you?
And he brought a little sexiness to the screen for the sisters.
Okay, well, go ahead. We talked about Lupita. You can have your moment.
A little sexiness for the sisters.
The women need their moment.
That's right.
So hold on, Michelle. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: sexier man, Michael B. Jordan, or I forget my man's name?
M'Baku, without a doubt.
M'Baku, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
And not Michael B. Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan.
No, he too little boy for me.
You say what'd you say? What'd you call him, little boy?
Little boy.
Little boy.
Yeah, he was immature in the movie, so I was like, "You so immature."
M'Baku, that's a man, huh? That's a man.
I'm trying to tell you, move silently with big feet.
Beat your chest.
Yes.
I ain't mad at that.
Oh shit.
I ain't mad at that. All right. So we got a category we usually do here. What's the blackest thing that happened in this movie? Now this is a blackety black movie, so I had a hard time pointing something out because this is so so in the spirit of black, and the highest level of black. But there was a couple of things. My man in the chamber who just couldn't hold his damn tongue. I don't care if he got his damn plate out and that tongue was falling out that mug. That motherfucker, like when he's asking, say my name. Everybody else knew better. It's always one. It's always one. They got to break the damn rule. And when Shuri, during the first challenge scene, when everybody else is being serious and blah, 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 blah. It's just like a black person and a gay person. These are the only two people I've ever seen do this. Be in a super serious setting and got to crack a joke. Try to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
We do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But other than that, I couldn't think of anything that was like, the movie's black. So
for me, there was two things for me in the movie. in the scene where the first challenge when T'Challa's fighting, what's his name? The dude from the Jabari tribe. What's his name? We just talked about him.
M'Baku.
So when they're showing, everybody kind of up on this mountain, if you look over like Angela Bassett's shoulder, there's a guy wearing a pair of jeans and it looked like some Jordans. I'm telling you, look at the
Stop playing. Now I gotta watch it again.
I said,
watch it again.
Go watch it again.
He got on some jeans and he's wearing a pair of I think it's like yellow and blue shoes. Like, look at it. They look like Jordans to me. But I was like, come on, dude. Like, you wearing Jordans in this ceremonial thing. But so that was a Black thing to me. The other thing that was kind of Black to me was when they're in Korea and Claw is going to the club and they're going to the club and Claw and them pull up bumping. Like they pull up like Jay-Z bumping some other, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, Claw, y'all out here snapping, right? Like those two things to me, I was like, okay, yeah, those are like Black things to me.
I know. Right. That was funny. Claw was like, he's like, you got a mixtape? Oh, I actually do have a mixtape. Why don't you get? I was kidding. I think I couldn't answer this question. I probably would say the Blackest thing that I could think of was during the fight scene when they had all the folks was like dancing and like this rhythmic. It was like this whole party. It was almost like it was ceremonial.
Yeah.
But it was like it was telling a story through rhythm and moving. And I can't see any like I hate to say like Black. I hate shit. Like, what's the Blackest thing? Oh, when they was killing each other. Like, no, that wasn't Black. I don't know about that. But I think that kind of ceremonial African vibes and beats and movement and storytelling and all ceremonial during one of the transfer of power, if you will. I thought that was probably the Blackest thing, but I don't even know if that's a good answer, but that's probably the best I got.
I have two. The first one is during that scene when they were driving through Korea. My girl was driving with her shoes off. She was barefoot driving. She had just had on a pair of bad heels at the little club. She was in the car driving barefoot. Definitely a Black woman
thing.
Is
that a Black woman thing or a woman thing?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't know about, I've never seen a white woman drive barefoot when I was in the car with her, at least. I don't even recall seeing white women take an extra pair of shoes to swap into when they out in the streets. So I don't know.
No, because they just walk around barefoot after a while. They don't get no fun.
Facts. We're not doing that. We ain't doing that. We're gonna bring our flats in the bag, in the purse, whatever, roll them up, whatever. So that's number one. The other one was and I just lost it.
When she threw that wig off her head.
That was definitely a Black woman. I forgot all about that one, to be honest. But yeah, that was definitely a Black woman. And it was, oh my goodness. Oh, I'll forget it. It'll come back to me.
It'll come back to you. All right, we went through a lot of these. Hold on, let me get back on. Okay, so another recurring question we always have: would this movie be better with Denzel Washington and Angela Bassett in it? Obviously, Angela Bassett's already in it, so that's one question to answer. But can we? And Reese's shaking his head. Could Denzel have been Forrest Whitaker's part?
That was the only thing I would say is he could have done Forrest Whitaker's part.
No,
he absolutely could have done that.
No, but I'm gonna say this. What movie is not better with Angela and Denzel in it? Let me qualify. However, I think I would have liked to see. I'm just saying I would have liked to see Denzel as T'Challa's father.
Yeah, but see, then he would have had to have been in other movies too, and I don't think you're gonna get Denzel to commit to the other ones, right?
True.
So if you're gonna have it in a siloed film, you have to go with a role that kind of comes and goes, like Forrest Whitaker's character. He comes in, he gets killed off, and boom, you in and out.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like Forrest Whitaker too, though. Like I just think I don't know.
I thought
Cameron Diaz
everybody
actually
played the
terrible.
roles well. That's kind of a bogus question, really. Like, what can't Denzel do?
That's my point. This is why this is why I asked the question. And then we just figure out where we can put him.
I don't know.
I think you got to go with Forrest Whitaker.
No, I'm gonna go with this one. You got to leave the movie the way it is. It made $1 billion. Did Denzel make $1 billion any movie?
Philadelphia? No.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Did that make 100,000?
No, I would say no, but Denzel was also not in maybe the largest movie franchise ever. So I mean, to be fair.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think you can deny him. But
this movie didn't make $1 billion because Forrest Whitaker $1 billion because Forrest Whitaker. Go ahead.
Maybe. Who knows? You take him out of it, maybe it doesn't make $1 billion. You don't know.
No, trust me. You could have played that role and this movie still would have made it.
Facts. That's a fact. I don't know. I kind of feel like it wasn't broke. So could they do it? Sure, they can. Of course they can. I don't think they complain if he was either one, any character, maybe except the main characters, but he could have been Killmonger's father, and I think he would have killed it. He could have been T'Challa's father, he would have killed it. He could have been the shaman, he would have killed it. He could have been the guy with the plate in his lip and say, who are you?
Who are you?
Just said it better.
Denzel in his prime, Black Panther?
Nah.
Wesley or Denzel?
It don't fit him, I don't think. I don't know. Just don't fit him.
Wesley now.
Wesley or
This is
Denzel?
interesting.
That's a good
Wesley,
point.
a young Wesley as T'Challa?
Good point.
Now, again, I'm also of the opinion that Black Panther could have been played by a better actor. Or now, I don't even want to say a better actor because Chadwick Boseman's a hell of an actor. A better, I guess, a better actor, but not in
you said it. You said it.
Not acting skills, right? He's a talented actor. But I think you could have probably had someone better to do that role, or someone different to do that role. And could you have Wesley do it? Is Wesley Snipes a better actor than Chadwick Boseman? Probably not. But I think Wesley could have did a great job in that role. A young Wesley, the same dude who played Blade.
No, I'll give you that. Wesley would have killed it. Wesley would have killed it.
I think so.
For sure. I think Wesley would have added more of an edge to the character, he would have brought a little bit more bravado, I think, to the character as well. And I think the fight scenes would have been better with Wesley. So I think he could pull it off for sure.
And we know he can do an African accent because he just did it in Coming to America too. in a mocking way.
In a mocking way, right? Exactly.
Let me ask this. Is this the best movie the stars have ever been in? And I will start with Chadwick. Best movies ever been in? Now, and when I say been in, you didn't have to be the lead character. So this puts all the rest of the Marvel Universe movies in Chadwick's resume as well. Best movies ever been in?
No, because I think Endgame is a better movie, right? And Civil War, I think, is a better movie. So no, I don't think you can say this is the best movie he's been in. It's not the best movie Angela Bassett's been in. It's not the best movie Forrest Whitaker has been in. It's probably not even the best movie that Michael B. Jordan has been in. If you take Fruitvale Station, or even if you take the first Creed, right? I think that the first Creed as a movie is a better movie, because I think it has a little bit more of a hero's rise in it, right? The story arc and the dynamics of the character, I think, has a little bit more depth to them than, say, a Marvel movie or Black Panther has to it. So, and then even with Kahlua, who's right there playing in the background, he's been in better movies, right? You take, even though I'm not a big fan of Get Out, I think Get Out is a better movie. The Judas movie that he has, I think, is a better movie. So I don't think you can say across the board. Now, maybe Suri, maybe Lupita, this is the best movie either one of them have been in, but those other folks, I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of other movies that Chadwick has been in, and I love too. You know, Ma Rainey's Bottom, I loved him in. I loved him in the Five Bloods. I loved him in the Five Bloods.
Yeah.
I loved him in a lot of other movies too. So I wouldn't say this is the greatest role, but I think it is definitely one for the books for sure.
Reese?
So I don't know.
All contrarian.
Just a bit. So let me ask, for all the other movies, how many times y'all have watched Black Panther? Is it fair to say everybody watched it at least more than once?
Yeah.
More than twice?
Yep.
Any other movie that they've been in, anyone who's watched them more than once? And what movie more than once?
Well, I'll tell you this, and this is gonna sound crazy, but there's the other movie that I've watched more than Black Panther that has one of the stars in it. Well, there's a couple of them. Angela Bassett, right? So you got What's Love Got to Do with It, and so on and so forth.
Like, it's coming up soon on the Classic Cinema rewatch.
No question. Specifically, I want to dial it in because I'm not talking about for every actor in there. Specifically, Chad Boseman, and I'm not saying this is his best acting movie,
right?
He killed most of the roles he's played and done very. I'm just talking about overall movie. And I think a lot of times because it's a Marvel, it's a comic book movie, it's like that has to go on this shelf versus what do you do, 42?
That's what I'm saying. I watch 40 often.
And he did 12 Bridges, I think, or 30, whatever it is.
Great acting.
I've watched that more times than I've watched Black Panther.
Great acting, no question. I'm just thinking about the movie, like the overall movie. I've watched this movie, and I'm not saying this is the best acting job anybody have done in this movie, except for the characters you named who probably only had one or two other movies under their credit. But in terms of overall movie, and maybe that's just my personal interest, and there were other great movies, but like I've watched 42 once, Get On Up once.
No, see, I watch some of the movies I watch all the time.
I thought that was a better acting.
I've never even seen them.
The James Brown.
The James Brown movie.
I don't think he did a great job in the James Brown movie. I heard it wasn't that great. I saw Chadwick Boseman playing James Brown.
Agree with that.
I agree with that.
But like, I haven't watched many of those movies more than once, and some of them I really did like. But did I like this one better?
Have you ever watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Once.
Or Forrest Whitaker is in that, he plays the football player. I've seen that movie like a billion times.
I've seen Angela Bassett movies more than once.
Yeah.
And there's probably, like, I'd probably say What's Love Have to Do with is probably, I like that movie. That was just a fucking great movie. Everybody
I just watched that last week.
Yeah, Vampire in Brooklyn.
I know you ain't say no damn Vampire in Brooklyn.
No, what I'm saying is I've seen it multiple times.
I've seen it multiple times.
I have too.
I will argue this, Reese, and I see your point, and I feel your point because I kind of agree with you. I'll say this though: I tend to watch dramatic movies less than I watch action movies, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where, and plus you got all these great people in this, which make you kind of bring me back to it. But I've probably seen Fast and the Furious, the first one, more than I've seen The Godfather. I'm not comparing those two as pieces of film noir, right? Like, I just think some of these things, I've only seen Fruitvale Station twice. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. I don't know if I need to. Yeah. The only thing, there's only a few dramas I'll say that bring me back consistently, like X. I've seen that I don't know how many times. Yeah. But I've only seen Hurricane maybe twice.
Right.
So I'll throw that out as a comparison. I don't know if this is back to something Chris originally said. I don't know if this isn't better than Endgame. I think I've got this third in my Marvel Cinematic Universe rankings. I think it's Infinity War. Maybe fourth. I think it's Infinity War. I think it's Civil War. I think it's that second Captain America.
But the Soldier's #1 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It fluctuates with me depending on the day. Today I say third. Tomorrow I would say it's best. It depends on when you're talking to me. But Panthers in that top 5 easily. And honestly, I know we get off course a little here, but not a huge Endgame fan. I love the end.
Endgame probably had the best payoff. So the last, what were we talking about? The last 20 minutes?
It had 30 movies to build up to it, but everything to the payoff in that particular movie.
If you could take Endgame and give me the last 20 minutes, I'm good. Good.
Yep. I like Doctor Strange more.
Wow.
I like Doctor Strange more. I like Ant-Man more. I like Iron Man more. I like the second Thor more. Not the no.
Ragnarok.
I like that more. It's okay.
I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy is probably still my #1.
I like Guardians.
Yes, I do love Guardians.
Not the second one, the first one.
Yeah, first one.
Yeah, first one for sure.
Second one.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was overall a good movie. Did you answer that, Falls?
Except for Baby Groot.
So you said
I love Baby Groot.
Baby Groot.
Wait, what did I answer, Reese?
You did answer it in terms of was it their best movie?
I think. Okay, so if I'm going, and I said don't do this, but I'm gonna do it and break my own rules. I think this is Chadwick's, to me, the best movie he's been in as the lead. To me, this isn't his best movie because I think Civil War was better. So that's just, but he wasn't the lead. But in that frame, yes, this obviously isn't the best movie for us, Whitaker or Angela Bassett, any of them. I would, Lupita.
She hasn't been in shit else, has she? Oh, she was in
She was in 12 Years a Slave, which again is a great movie that I can't watch again. She was in Us, which is I like Us.
That was all right.
I think she was awesome in Us.
Yeah, she was
good in Us. She
played 2 characters.
Yeah, she played 2 characters.
I didn't like that movie.
I didn't like the movie, but I thought she was great.
The movie's okay, but I thought she was awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't get into this last Jordan Peele movie either. Maybe I need to see it again.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you talking about Nope?
Nope. Nope for Nope.
I didn't like that.
I wasn't a big fan of Get Out either, though.
I like Get Out.
Agreed. It was all right to me.
All right.
I'll tell you this: I don't look at the skies the same.
So let me ask you this:
you looking at clouds hard now? Like
I'm trying to tell you.
So let me throw this at you.
Was that day yesterday? That was day yesterday.
Do we feel with Black films we have to like them? I'm talking about like I'm not talking about like Soul Plane type films.
Right.
I'm talking about like you said Soul Plane. Now you got me thinking all the bullshit movies. Let me just put that in the Soul Plane category. But all the other movies like 42, or I don't know if that was a Black movie. It was a Black lead, but Jordan Peele's movie. Those are primarily Black films. Like majority of the characters are Black. A lot of characters are Black. Do we feel as Black people we have to like them so we can see more of them?
No,
I don't feel like I need to like them, but I'm definitely going to support them.
Like we can't say, that movie was trash.
I can.
Yeah, I think to your point, Reese. I think Michelle just said it. I think we need to support the ones we feel are quality filmmaking. I still haven't seen Soul Plane. I just don't need that type of movie in my life. So they never make another Soul Plane. I'm good on it. But for the movies, like all right, so people say I'm a rough judge of movies, and motherfuckers like, you don't never like no Black movies. Yes, I do. I love plenty of Black movies. I don't love Black movies unconditionally, but I will spend my money to go see them, and then I will rip them to shreds if they're bad. Birth of a Nation was not a great movie. Cinematography was off the chain. The message and the story, I get it why everybody was in love with it. As a movie, it left me wanting. I paid my money to go see it, and I will say that it left me wanting as a movie. But people jump on my neck because it's Black.
And they jumped on you because of it, right? Because you had you had a negative opinion, or not the rosiest opinion of it. It's like you get attacked for it.
Yeah.
If that was a white film with white leads, white actors, and all white, and you would have gave that opinion, people would have agreed with you.
I went on Facebook the other day and I said, what did I just watch that was god awful? Now I can't even remember what it was. Damn it, pissed me off. But anyway, I watched some movie, mostly all white cast or whatever. Oh, wasn't Morbius, which was horrible too. Terrible. It was something else. But I got on there and I said, this is potential. Oh, Halloween Ends.
Oh, it's terrible.
Potentially the worst movie I've ever seen.
I know, right? That movie's horrible.
I got on there, I shit all over Halloween Ends, and nobody said a word. Now, I shit on the one LL Cool J was in, or Busta Rhymes, they probably wouldn't have. But to your point, Reese, nobody cared. Everybody laughed, blah, 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 blah. I give a middling review of Wakanda Forever.
And that's it. You cannot, I promise you this, you cannot not like Black Panther 2.
But even if it was because the people who said something saw it and they felt different.
No, I'm not even giving it away. I'm not even going to give you my opinion, but I'm just telling you, you cannot not like that movie. I dare you all to go watch it, and let's say you loved it, and go and say this movie was trash. I guarantee you,
I'm gonna get canceled. They're gonna cancel me.
You will get canceled. You will get canceled. But I think, don't say Nope was bad. Now, I didn't think Nope was a good movie.
But a lot of people said Nope was not good. So yeah.
So that's the only way you can say it too. It's got to be the majority opinion.
True. Fact.
I guess it would have to. Yeah, because you could say Soul Plane is bad and people will agree.
Right.
So it has to be a majority, like a large majority.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But then again, like Tyler Perry makes a lot of movies that most people be like, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
But Tyler Perry movie, I think, will fall into that Soul Plane category.
It's certain movies that you can sort of have a negative opinion about or negative comments about where you won't get jumped on.
Yeah.
It's ones like a Wakanda Forever where if you don't like it, people are like, how could you not like this movie, right? Because it has positive messaging.
Yes.
Black people have positive black. That's right.
Yeah.
With some good talented actors.
Right. But at the end of the day, I always fall back on what Common said. If I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean I'm hating it, right? Like, I just cannot like it.
Yeah.
You know? I don't like watermelon. You can love it.
Me neither. I hate it.
I don't eat it.
Watermelon is delicious.
I don't eat it.
I won't eat that shit at the corporate. I avoid that at the corporate meetings, but
if you looking at you be like, ooh, I want some, but I won't do it. But I won't do it. Look, I swear to God, I won't eat fried chicken around coworkers.
Either.
Baked chicken or like grilled, yes. But fried, I won't do it. I won't do it.
Me neither, because you gotta do this.
You gotta eat and they eat that shit up around me, and I be mad. I be want to knock it out the hand, like motherfucker.
They love it more than we do. Secretly,
more than we do.
Yes, they do.
I tell you this: I don't eat bananas around. I don't eat bananas.
Well, for obvious reasons, but y'all love to watch us eat them.
Right. I will not.
For obvious reasons.
Exactly.
I can't think the last time I've seen a woman eat a banana. Matter of fact, I can't think the last time I've seen anybody eat a banana.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the older I get, I don't like them.
I kind of grew out of them. I used to love bananas. I kind of grew out of them.
I love bananas. I eat a banana probably almost every day, just about.
The potassium levels are good, brother.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see. We should do another follow-up. Give folks time to watch the second movie. Because I got some pretty strong opinions about it. As with everything.
So we are at about time, y'all. And I think that's a great segue, Reese. We will follow up on that second one. I'm gonna give people a couple of weeks to see it. I know some people slow on the trigger than others. So we've got our lineup set. I think actually we were gonna do The Wood today, and I felt like let's bump that back because we got to talk about Black Panther with all of us going to Wakanda mostly this weekend. But next week we have More Better Blues. So we will be breaking that one down. We'll circle back. I'm gonna get this crew back together in maybe 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks from today. Okay. And and we'll circle back and we'll talk about 2. I know you all are going to see it today, so enjoy. Thank you all for having this conversation with me. I appreciate your presence. Your presence is a present. Y'all are dope. Some great viewpoints here. And everybody that watched, thanks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back every Saturday, 11 o'clock Central Standard. I'm about to put this on all the networks. Y'all share it on your channels. And hey, enjoy the rest of the weekend, y'all. I know it got a little chilly here in the shop, but still get out and see Wakanda Forever and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
All right, my brother. It was a great time.
See?
Bring it in, Kendrick. All right, y'all. See y'all later.
So long from Wakanda.
Christmas.